The map is, once again, Antigua Shipyard. And the players, they're in the game. And
how do you think Puma feels about that recently, about his new Terran brother joining up,
man? That's right. A little bit of news. Thorazane throwing in with the EG camp. Who saw that one coming? Not me.
I didn't see it coming.
Never in a million years would I have predicted something like that happening, but I don't know. I think both players have to be pretty excited because they can definitely learn from each other. At any rate, we do have our blue Terran representing the evil geniuses, the one we were just speaking of, spawning down here in 6 o'clock. It is, of course, Puma. And up at the top half of the map, cross spawn, because there's always cross spawn on Antigua, on NASL Antigua. It is the red Zerg Liquid'HayprO.
You know, Ben, what I've been liking from EG'PuMa's play so far in the NSL, he hasn't been afraid to switch it up. Rarely will you see EG'PuMa play 2 or 3 games on a row, the exact same style in a best of 3 that he prepared for, probably like he does in the NSL, at least we may hope so. And that's, I really think that always encourages some credit, or deserves some credits, because I love to see that. I love players who don't play the same over and over again. Unfortunately for him, he has often fallen short just by an inch. I mean, we remember EG'PuMa versus Zinho of 2 weeks ago. How ridiculous was that? It's literally 2 hits by a drone that could have won EG'PuMa the game, or not losing 2 Zerglings to a couple of Rootlings.
And how often is a game determined by 1 or 2 Zerglings? Yeah. Never. It just never happens. EG'PuMa versus Cloud was another very close series. I mean, we've seen him go neck and neck with the best in the world. He's capable of winning here.
Yeah, we've seen him make very impressive performances at MLGs as well. I just think it's a matter of time. EG'PuMa is definitely going to win quite a few best of 3s this season. The question is, man, what will he do today against the division leader, Puma, who is 4-0? And of course, Puma, he doesn't want to go through online playoffs and all that stuff. He doesn't. Puma doesn't do that, man. Puma wins divisions and then shows up at the finals.
He's certainly the favorite to win. It's hard to bet against him, as we so often say. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Zerg's. Like, we're seeing a bit of a return to some old school styles of play. Okay, we were discussing this the other day, with Terran players delaying siege tech and relying on like Marines and Hellions for so long. We're seeing Zerg players return to things like Banelings, which is fallen out of fashion for whatever reason. And I think EG'PuMa is going to do something like that here today. I think we're going to see some Baneling-centric play, and I think he's going to really surprise Puma. I think he's going to take this series.
Man. You sound very confident.
I do.
If this wasn't a live game, I would really feel that you're cheating on me and that you actually know the result of this game, man.
I wish that were the case, so that I could make those perfect predictions.
We saw no gas, fast expand build for Puma, so a pretty traditional build. Now he's throwing down both refineries as well. So what we can expect from Puma is what we've seen him before do in the NSL and pretty much every tournament where we see him play as well. He's getting quick upgrades, of course, most likely double engineering bay. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go for triple orbital as well, and then trying to get those Marines with those medevacs out as soon as possible. And Puma is also one of those guys who loves to just immediately, when 2 medevacs are out, 60 Marines to go, try to see what I can achieve with my 60 Marines.
You're exactly right. But this time he's getting that factory tech down, so I think we're going to be seeing some sort of Hellion opening as we see that barracks repositioning so that he can get that reactor going. EG'PuMa is going to poke up here with these Lings. Not going to see much, just that completed bunker. But it should be enough to at least put his mind at rest, say, okay, well, it's pretty likely that there's an expansion back there. Still no gas for EG'PuMa, which is... We've discussed this in the past. If you don't take gas as a Zerg player, it becomes very, very... Well, it's impossible to really pressure Terran, which is one of the reasons why these triple orbital builds are so good and so successful in today's metagame.
We'll see. So what do you think we're going to see out of EG'PuMa?
Well, I still think we're going to see him. Well, right now he's on about 44 supply. He's going to be adding those gases soon, and then I think he's going to just tech up, get those upgrades, and I would love to see, like I said, a Baneling-centric style out of him, because I just feel like right now, for whatever reason, it's strong. But he is throwing down a Roach Warren, so might be something else. You never know.
Puma having that reactor down right now in the factory, of course, that's kind of standard. Even though Puma sometimes, well, I wouldn't really say he skips it, but he's not a player who really invests too much into the Hellions. Kind of use them for basic purposes, just to deny creep spread a little bit and make it harder. And if Zerg would take a really greedy turret, then he would probably try to pressure it with more Hellions. We see 3 Hellions right now, probably 4 as soon as the supply depot finishes. But interestingly, man, he's getting a starport and he's also having a tech lab. So maybe once more a Banshee follow-up, which is also something we've seen him done.
Oh, if you look at the gas, it makes it almost certain that it's going to be a cloaked Banshee follow-up. He's got so much gas saved up. And, you know, EG'PuMa, he's not getting his layer yet. There's no Evo chamber anywhere. Now, he's got plenty of time to get that sort of tech in place. But if he doesn't do something, then he could definitely stand to take some big damage here.
Quick third orbital by EG'PuMa, kind of what we predicted. Those two Hellions are going to spot this hatch right now. It's going to take quite a while before this hatch actually finishes. And of course Hellions are not that great against buildings, but he's still going to need something. He has a Roach one, he has a couple of Roaches on the map. So it's going to be interesting to see if HayPro is going to be prepared to deal with both Hellions and Banshees.
Yep, Roaches are finally revealed, and Puma will immediately back up a little bit. I'm a bit curious to see if he's going to choose to use these Banshees defensively, leaving them back in his base, or if he's going to go ahead and send them across the map.
Yeah, he might actually wait while HayPro's draining up mad, by the way. 13 drones at once. Something that we've seen a couple of Terran players do is leave one, but no, actually he just rallied it across the map, so I don't think so. But some players like to keep two Banshees in a base and then fly out, and then also reveal the fact that they have cloak. Funny saying, reveal the fact that they unreveal the cloak. Or reveal the unrevealing.
Wow, you're blowing my mind right now.
I've never really thought about it like that, man.
HayPro is going into some Zergling upgrades, getting the melee upgrade, the carapace upgrade. First Banshee making its way over to the third base. Layer is not even started still, so there's no mobile detection for HayPro, and that's a really big deal. Means these queens are going to be pretty useless against Cloak Banshees.
Yep, EG'PuMa not giving away the fact yet that he has Cloak. He's gonna do it right now, activating Cloak. And now HayPro probably has to be careful with those drones. He's gonna end up losing all of them unless he's gonna morph them into things.
He does throw down a single Spore, but I don't even think that's gonna be allowed to complete. Layer also starts immediately upon seeing that Banshee. But, well, the third base is certainly gonna take some heavy damage.
Yeah, HayPro's not going to be able to use this for quite a while. Then again, he can save a lot of them. Look at this, by the way, man. He's just droning like crazy. 13 more drones. Ends up losing that Spore Crawler right now. He has to be careful. He's losing a lot of drones.
Yeah, a little bit careless in the third. Allowing that Banshee to get up to 8 kills. Energy about to expire, but as soon as it does, the second Banshee shows up. HayPro's going to respond by throwing down 4 more Spore Crawlers. But really, he just needs his layer. Man, HayPro, if you just build him outside of this and walk him in, I think it would have been a different outcome, but as it stands, he's already lost 12 workers, so all 13 of those drones he made a second ago. Basically a sacrifice. And
the good thing is this is buying so much time for EG'PuMa. He has a Spore Crawler over here. Ooh, I'm not sure if EG'PuMa's paying attention. Close call, but EG'PuMa will keep his Banshee alive for now. And of course, EG'PuMa bought an insane amount of time for himself. Look at HayPro, he just keeps droning. It's kind of like he's playing PvZ, and this is a Phoenix opening.
This still feels like mission accomplished for EG'PuMa to me, though.
I couldn't agree more, man. Because not only did he kill 13 drones, and did he force a lot of Spore Crawlers, which is basically killing drones as well. He also allowed to get this base up, completely without any resistance.
Yeah, HayPro is completely incapable of pressuring that third base, and while the Spores are now up and the Banshee harass is not going to be as effective, the unchecked third is just it's just so good for Terran, and we can see Puma's macro really taking off. He's added 4 more barracks with reactors. He's got 2 with tech labs, a single factory with a tech lab, and this is still, Kev, why I think these Baneling styles need to come back more, because if you're noticing, there's not a single tank on the map. There's nothing in Puma's army that's particularly good against Banelings, with the possible exception of these Banshees.
Marines, man.
That's true.
EG'PuMa is micro.
I take it back. I take it back.
Marines are pretty good, but as you said, EG'PuMa's macro is really kicking over gear right now with all these reactors. He's going to have a ton of Marines on the map. Before you know it, he's been sort of inactive with these Hellions. That's the only thing I was a little bit surprised by. Then again, HayPro did have quite a few Roaches. He's got to pay attention right now. Ends up losing 1 Hellion straight away. But I would have loved to see him at least threaten HayPro somewhere a little bit more with those Hellions.
Looks like a medevac going to be making its way into the main base of HayPro. There's a single Spore there, but
that's really about all, and these Roaches are kind of out of position. And on the same moment, EG'PuMa's already moving forward towards the middle of the map. This is looking so tough for HayPro right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough hold. The drop isn't. Now it's going to stem and run forward, and there are no units in position to deal with it. Spore Crawler takes a single shot at a medevac, but that is not going to change anything. HayPro is backing up to hopefully try and save some of his main base, and he's going to do an okay job, really only losing a single queen, I believe.
But now EG'PuMa should know that HayPro is so far out of position, but he's still kind of afraid.
HayPro's macro has been really subpar this game. Just now starting up 8 Infestors. He needs those Infestors to deal with his Bioforce. He may still lose the third, Kev.
And he could have started those Infestors quite a bit early, and he still has 2,000 minerals. Maybe he made a little bit too many drones. Not used to being that rich in this phase of the game.
Banshee's dropping that cloak, and Stim Marines still pushing forward. HayPro supply blocked. He's lost so many Overlords. These 8 Infestors are almost ready. Dropping Changelings. That's
Wow,
kinda
EG'PuMa is
cute.
just losing all his Roaches right now to these Marines. Of course, Roaches are not really the answer to Marines. Certainly not with Banshees above them. I guess when all those Infestors pop with some good fungals.
And as this is happening, there's also the Marines being dropped in the back of the natural kev. So much damage being incurred by EG'PuMa. He does just tap out. GG. Puma looking...
Yeah, Puma looking really good, but I think EG'PuMa kind of called it on himself. He had so much money.
Yeah.
He started those Infestors when the Pathogen Glance upgrade was like 85% complete. I mean, EG'PuMa is such a good player. He knows after 30 seconds he can start that upgrade. So they will spawn. And imagine if he would have had fungals while those Roaches were fighting as Marines. It's a whole different fight.
He could have had them. He could have had them. I don't know. The whole thing felt sloppy to me, just from EG'PuMa's side of things. The Banshees were not really handled that well. Yeah, I mean, he lost a lot of drones unnecessarily, and then, I don't know, it just looked like maybe he was a little sloppy. Maybe it was his first game of the day, knocking the rust off, waking up a little bit. I really hope he bounces back and shows us more of what he's really capable of in Game 2.
Yeah. Game 1 was sort of one-sided. Unfortunately, Puma played a great game, of course. That's what we are used to from Puma, but yeah. EG'PuMa made a couple of unforced errors, as we could say. I love that expression, man.
That game was...
Unforced errors. Especially
Yeah,
an error that
smart.
Puma didn't really force upon EG'PuMa.
Yeah. That's a statistic. That's like a stat we could track.
Yeah, it's unforced errors. Kind of like tennis.
Exactly.
I know. Cool.
Breaking the metagame. Breaking the casting metagame.
I like it.
All right, guys, we're going to take a very quick commercial break. That first game brought to you by Epson Projectors. Go check them out, epson.com/projectors for your own projector needs.